Hello my crafty friends, it's Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations, and today I am working on a 4th of July project. So I have some Yupo paper that I am using stone wash, that's the blue alcohol ink, and my Tim Holtz blower here. And I was originally intending to do an abstract flag. I was going to try to do the stripes, but when I add in my watermelon, which is my red color, they tend to run together and I didn't get left with very much white space, so I opted to add more of the watermelon and just disregard the stripes. So I'm just cleaning up the blue and then I will move on to the red. I don't know if I said this already, but I am working on Yupo paper. I just order some generic from Amazon. And so it started out okay with the lines, and then as you see, they just started blending together. And I don't have a lot of red options, so I decided to just make the whole section red. So I'll fill in all those white spaces. And I let it dry for a little bit, not too long, and then I'm going to take some foil from my stash. This is from Brutus Monroe, and I'm not quite sure the name of it because I didn't take it out of any packaging. It just happened to be in a drawer. And I'm going to put this down because it's still a little bit tacky, and the foil will stick to that. So that's kind of my way to add in the stripes per se. It's just kind of a loose interpretation. So this panel that I'm making is going to be the background for a shaker panel. So I'm just going to clean up my mess, grab that foil and put that on the panel, which I think was just what it needed to kind of break it up, and it adhered actually quite nicely, which sometimes it's hit or miss if this is going to work for me. So you have to kind of lay down the foil at the exact time. So I have this red foil from my stash that I cut down to card size, even though this is going in my art journal. And then I cut out the center. So off screen, I put down some double-sided adhesive, and I'm going to adhere down my acetate because I am making this into a shaker. And then I saved you the time and I put down a double layer of my foam tape. And then my shaker elements that I'm using are from Doodles Paper Playground. These are sparkle blends, and this particular one is called Rocket Pop. It's from the newest release. And so I'm going to put a good amount of this in here. I had one particular sequin that just would not let go of my finger. This is what I'm trying to do right now, is get that to let go of me. And then just to add in some more, I took some clear seed beads that I have from my stash, and I'm going to add those in, one for the sound and two just so I didn't have to use as much of my blends and I would have some more for additional projects. So then I'm going to take the backing off of my foam tape, and I am going to adhere my alcohol ink panel to this so that I can seal it all in. I am picking off there's some silvery stars that are in here that were stuck to my foam tape that I'm just trying to make sure don't get stuck in there. And I'm trying to put everything towards the center so it doesn't stick to the edges of the foam tape. And we'll get that adhered down and flip it over and show you. So I am using a Stampin' Up! Stamp set from my stash. It is retired. It's called For Your Country, because both of my sons are currently serving in the military. My youngest son is finishing up his time in the Army in the next few months, and my oldest son is currently in boot camp. So I wanted to do a 4th of July project because Mama is missing her boys. So I took a scrap piece of white cardstock and I treated it with my anti-static powder tool, and I am inking this up with Versamark ink, and I will ink it up twice. And then I don't know what I was going to say, just totally lost my train of thought. Isn't that terrible? I inked it up twice, and then I will take my Brutus Monroe sterling embossing powder and coat this, and then heat set that with my heat gun until it's all smooth and melted. And I love watching metallic embossing powder melt. It will go from kind of grainy and dull looking to very shiny so that you can tell whether you got all of the spots or not. And if you tilt it in the light, you can see if you've missed any areas, which is what I'm doing right here. And then I am going to fussy cut this out off screen. Of course, I'm not going to make you sit through all of that. But I fussy cut it out, and I've added some foam tape to the back of it. and then I am going to adhere it down to my panel. I was going to tip it to the long way, and then I realized you have the flag in there, so you might want to keep it in the horizontal orientation. It's a work in progress all the time, the way my brain works. So then I forgot to add a sentiment, and I didn't really want it to be on a white strip on that red frame. So I am going to take the thank you stamp, which is from the same For Your Country stamp set, and I am going to brave it and ink it up with some Versamark ink and put down my silver embossing powder again and heat set that. It didn't turn out too bad. I did have to take my pokey tool off screen and just kind of remove some of the bits that were not in an area where I wanted them to be, because if you notice, I didn't use my anti-static powder tool first. So it does help if you use that, or stamp it before you go adhering everything with dimension onto it. So then I'm going to pull out my art journal just to show you that I am going to make this into a page for that instead of making it into a card so that I can save it for myself. So I hope that you liked today's project, and as always, I hope that you have a great day.